Buddy, welcome back to the channel. Over the past couple of days, we've seen a lot of concerns in the market more broadly about the potential of a recession. We're seeing stocks drop for a prolonged period now, with massive amounts of value being wiped off of the US stock markets. A lot of people expect a recession could be coming. If not, the fact is already potentially here. Another article that we're going to be looking at today speaks on layoffs. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen layoffs in some of the world's biggest companies. We're seeing layoffs in Goldman Sachs, which we are going to be covering shortly, where they've cut over 1,300 employees. They're not the only company in the banking sector to do so, though, as we have an article from one day ago speaking about how Bank of America is eliminating some investment banking roles. Now this is significant, and we'll get onto why in just a second, but let's actually have a read and a look at the news. You guys know I like bringing you the latest stories and telling you what is going on. So, on March the 10th, we have seen Bank of America eliminating some of its investment banking roles, including in New York, according to 3 sources familiar with the situation who declined to be identified. So the cuts affected junior bankers, including analysts and associates. The 3 sources said the small number of employees whose jobs were trimmed could be redeployed in comparable positions elsewhere in the company, one of the sources also said. So yet again, we are seeing another banking firm looking to reduce the number of staff that it has potentially. So it seems that the information that we have here is quite loose at the minute, quite opaque, or perhaps quite crepuscular. We don't really have too much to actually speak on here. However, it is another banking firm looking to cut its staff. Now bear in mind, we're seeing the same thing from Goldman Sachs as well, and actually quite a few other banks that we've spoken about, right? We've seen Citigroup looking to do the same. This is just another industry now which is looking like it is going to be affected, if not is actually already being affected by layoffs. And again, numbers, or the potential numbers that we're looking at here, might seem relatively small, but bear in mind what we are seeing across the broader economy in a lot of sectors is this trickle cut, this trickle layoff effect, I guess. You know, the numbers seem small, but they are generally quite consistent. Now, whether that will continue to be the case in Bank of America, we cannot say yet. But it really is an interesting place to be in. And again, this is apparently for staff in its investment banking and global markets divisions globally, as part of an annual performance review process, sources said. And again, this is how a lot of these layoffs or job cuts are being marketed right now, right? They're being seen as a place where these businesses are looking for efficiency. That's one of the big messages that we're seeing a lot. So in the context of Bank of America, again, it's being marketed in a very, very similar way. It's a performance review, apparently. But what a lot of these companies arguably are failing to acknowledge is, again, related to some of the other big factors. In a lot of these tech companies specifically, the demand just is not there. A lot of these companies are looking to cut back on their costs. Perhaps they're not looking to scare investors so much. And again, one of the easiest and unfortunately quickest ways to cut back on costs is to reduce or shrink the workforce. You know, workers are a very expensive asset for a company, and there does become a point, or at least can become a point in certain times in the economy, perhaps like what we're seeing now, where having so many staff deployed might actually be more of a challenge than a benefit. Anyway, it's not good news for a lot of workers out there. We are seeing more bad information coming out of the banking sector today, as another large company lays off more staff. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe, and I'm sure I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now. See you soon.